Now, tell me about this one.
Also from Benin's 7th century Fuller tribe, I believe.
Nah.
I beg your pardon?
It's taken by British soldiers in Benin, but it's from Wakanda. And it's made of vibranium. Don't trip. I'm gonna take it off your hands for you.
These items are not for sale.
How do you think your ancestors got these? You think they paid full price for it? Or did they take them like they took everything else?
Sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
You got all the security in here to watch me once I walked in. That you ain't checking what you put in your cheat codes.
It's March 7th, 2018. Welcome to episode 162 of the Cheat Codes Podcast.
Thank you for tuning in. We're happy you're listening in. The next hour is us drinking a few beers and going over our favorite bits from the past week in video game, tech, and pop culture news.
We're coming to you from the Afro-futuristic technological wonderland that is Wakanda. Because people are overall terrible, we've cloaked ourselves in our precious vibranium from the rest of the world so we can enjoy peace, prosperity, and levitating chariots. My name is Alexandra Shuri Lucas.
And I'm Joe Killmonger Erskine, and we're here with Cheat Codes producer and editor, Mr. Joe Okoye Arroyo.
Hello.
There's a lot of weird consonants. Cheat Codes core panelist, Mr. Nick Njobu Golish.
Hi, guys.
They haven't seen Black Panther
exactly
yet.
Like him. On this episode, we'll absorb the strength of the Black Panther as we sort out the following.
Super Seducer will teach dudes how to be creeps. Eat your heart out, Leisure Suit Larry.
And Kaceytron, a self-proclaimed Twitch titty streamer, temporarily decided to cover up to troll her gross followers, and they took it about as well as you would expect.
And to round out our main topics, Kim Kardashian.
Targaryen.
Yeah, her too.
Kim Kardashian.
So many references.
Four lights.
Kim Kardashian likes anime, apparently, and now all you anime nerds need to learn to deal with that.
For the lightning round, we'll try not to freeze like an antelope in headlights as we make sense of these quick topics.
The ESA says preserving old online games isn't necessary. You can't see it, but my face is doing its best skeptical impression.
And the Tomb Raider movies are being rebooted for some reason, and Mattel has made a Barbie to go with them. Great.
All right, first order of business.
Yes.
There's a rumor going around that someone at this table might have gotten engaged since we last did the show.
Is that what they're saying?
Now, using my superior deduction skills, I know two of the people sitting here are already married, or at least last time I checked. One of them being me, and I'm pretty sure Joe is still married.
How many of them do you know are Mormons?
Appropriate question. Alexandra.
Was it
All right.
Was it
the
you?
rumors are true.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Yes.
Thanks so much, guys.
Drinks
Oh.
is happiness. Yay.
Much appreciated. Yeah.
Are we going to do an episode at your wedding?
Absolutely, yeah. Obviously.
Fire the band. I got speakers.
Maybe actually, though, because our plan is to just, like, our friends are all spread out. So we're going to just have a party in, like, every city.
That sounds good.
Instead of a big...
Oh, that's
So we're going on tour is what you're saying?
Yeah. Cheat Codes Live on tour 2019.
Also marriage. Yeah.
That is a little... Whatever.
Can I get a little
Side
more on the
thing.
monitor, please?
Yeah, thanks. That's amazing. Congratulations.
Yes.
Couldn't
Yeah.
happen to a nicer
Congrats.
person.
Aw.
I'm sure the mister is excited as well.
Thanks, Phil. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's awesome. It's just the short version. And we'll talk more during Pua time.
That's fine. It was more
I
about just
guess,
having an
but-
excuse to cheers and drink.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
congratulations
I
to you.
appreciate it.
That's awesome.
No. Like I said, never thought it would be a thing in my life, so.
When you throw your bouquet, make sure Nick catches it.
Straight to Nick.
That's
Actually,
right.
I'll just hand it to you.
Like, boom.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
It's all good. So,
Should we
yep.
talk about beer?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good segue, right?
Yeah. So, really quickly, let's talk about what we're toasting to Wakanda with on this episode.
While we have themed the episode based on the modern-day awesomeness that is the Black Panther movie, we were forced to ask ourselves, when T'Challa wants to kick back and jaw on some video game topics and have a brew, what does he drink? We don't know. But it's probably locally sourced from Wakanda, and that means it looks cool as fuck and is so technologically advanced that the empty can calls you an Uber so you don't drink and drive. That'll make sense to you guys when you finally see the fucking movie. In the spirit of that, we're drinking some Imperial 49 Imperial IPA from Goose Island. It's made with 5 different hops, which is one hop variety for every tribe in Wakanda.
Planned it, obviously.
Well
I
in
was
advance.
very thoughtful about that
A whole
selection.
5 minutes in advance.
For one for every
And
tribe.
I'm not even
One
sure.
for-
I'm not even, it's fine. Just go with it.
Yeah. So this corset is really uncomfortable. So can we all just wrap this intro up and get started?
Yeah.
Oh, Shuri.
Yeah.
Number
Love
one.
her. All right.
All right. When you think of games like Leisure Suit Larry, what do you think of? I think of a clunky point-and-click adventure of a hapless moron trying to get laid, but often fails, and often in chuckle-inducing ways presented in a cartoony style. Doesn't excuse it. I also think of the late 80s and early 90s, when puberty was close at hand and guys like Harvey Weinstein were probably, playing Leisure Suit Larry. There's a newer game out called Pickup Artist, and it's billed on Steam as the world's most realistic seduction simulator.
That was called Super Seducer.
Oh, is it? That's right.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's called
From
Super
the
Seducer.
Don't,
artist, right?
don't
Check the tapes.
fully plug it.
Maybe we shouldn't have even
Yeah.
said the name.
That's okay.
One Google search away.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry. Let's pause while you swallow back the bile that just bubbled up in the back of your throat. So despite the current societal stance that stuff like this just sucks, don't worry. Someone is probably making media to neg this stance to make a buck.
Subtle but good.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, maybe
It's not us,
am I
'cause
being
we're
too
not
harsh?
making
Am I
bucks.
being too harsh with the intro? Like, should we or would we play this game?
No.
I don't
No.
No.
I didn't read the article, so I don't know the
Okay.
exact
Oh.
I don't know everything that's in the game and everything,
Okay.
but I can see its place.
Well,
in a way.
let me ask you this. This is a good way to kind of start this. Actually, are you familiar with the concept of a pickup artist? Like guys who
like in
train dude, yeah, a little bit, like, but more creepy, more creepy.
I'm curious. Is this more?
No,
This is the
it's
guy.
not
Let's
like Hitch.
define.
This is the guy who comes to Hitch wanting to sleep with women.
Yeah.
Do you guys
Or-
remember the movie at all?
It's not. Yes, I've seen
Okay,
it many
okay.
times. I don't know why, but I have.
That's a weird
We all
admission.
just looked at
That's a
you
weird admission.
pretty
We've all
hard.
seen a lot
For
of
the
Will Smith
record.
No,
movies.
I wanted to just get that out of the way right now, so I can say that Hitch is about finding the right one, Nick.
Yeah.
It's
about
love.
It's about letting her get out of her own way.
So, with that qualification in mind, a pickup artist is a guy that trains or supposedly uses psychological tricks to train other dudes to be able to pick up women with the general purpose of sleeping with them.
Right. The tricks are
Is
literally
he trying
like
to trick people? Is he trying to psychologically trick the women or the men?
the women.
He's trying to give men, quote unquote, tools to psychologically trick women to sleep with them.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like everything down to negging and
Right.
stuff like that are like topics that are
Like
delved into.
this is a ridiculous example. So
Okay.
like negging, like you say, hey, your feet look bad or something.
No, that's not negging.
well, and that causes them to be more interested in the guy.
No,
right there.
negging is a backhanded compliment. Like
Yeah.
not every girl can pull off like glasses that make them cross-eyed like that. That's really good on you. I mean, I don't.
That came really quickly.
So we all,
I've used that example before. That's why.
Okay, all right.
so we all laughed at that though. Like, is that a bad thing for somebody to say? Somebody?
Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah, it's a bad thing to say to somebody.
Horrible.
Especially if you're a guy saying that to a girl at
That
a
you
bar
just
or
met.
a lounge or whatever.
What if you're being sarcastic?
No,
No, you're like
I think
you're
you
really
need to know
hot
that
for
person
an
to a
ugly-
certain level to kind of deliver
Wait, no,
something
wait,
like
I wanna
that.
hear this.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Did you have one?
No,
Did you
no.
have a negging example?
No, I'm not gonna. Nope.
Wait,
Anyway,
have you negged a dude before?
anyway, no.
Oh, okay.
Horrible.
Have you negged a woman before?
Stop. No. A clear no. No, pickup artists are the worst.
Yeah.
And it springs from the toxic masculinity issues, right? Like how for some people your worth as a man is like defined on your based on your sexual conquest, right? And so that's like you guys can speak more to this really like growing up as men, like how often were you hit with that as like must do that growing
All the
up and
time.
all the time now? Yeah.
Specifically in my early 20s, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all through high school and college, like
Like college
college time,
especially.
college years.
Yeah.
I guess.
Traditional college.
Yeah.
years. Yeah.
So like teenage years and early mid 20s
Yeah.
type of area.
Yep.
Yeah. And so pickup artists, primarily focused on sex as far as I can tell. And so it's like this, I think their thought process was that with this is like, okay, Me Too is happening. And so with that comes a backlash, just like Trump was like the backlash of President Obama, right? And so there is a sizable group of people. Like, this is a demographic, and no one else, as far as we know, is making games like this. So there's no competition.
What about,
like, that's the shitty thought process I'm imagining they had. But like, how can you live with yourself? Is my question. Nick,
what about all the dating sims? I guess
It's not
not dating.
It's not the same thing.
Read the article.
I understand that. I didn't read the article, but I guess, is there a place for this kind of thing necessary for some? Not necessarily.
There's a place for everything, but it doesn't. This is,
I don't know
specifically now in the current kind of societal climate right now. This feels tone deaf, but be also kind of like a direct, like you said, a backlash. You know what I mean? Where this guy's clearly trying to assume that people are still interested in this. This was kind of like this was like an industry for a while. Yeah. Like, if I recall correctly, back when I was in my 20s. You know what I mean?
Help books, probably.
Exactly. And it's this weird fucking scam. It's a scam is really what it is, about like these guys that feel like they've gotten a handle on some sort of like psychological trick to teach to dudes for like, you pay me money and I'll teach you how to pick up chicks. Right? Yeah. And it's bullshit. It's bullshit.
There's a couple things that are broken with that. There's the premise that like women don't have sexuality, and it's like our responsibility to come like get it out of you, which is really weird. And that's the part where, for all the victories that maybe some of these assholes had, could have been a woman who just wanted to have sex, and there's nothing wrong with that, just like the guy who does too. But doing it by belittling that individual or trying to psychologically trick them into it is the part that makes it busted. And maybe most of their victories are just that, or just the girl is like, oh, this guy's a fucking asshole, I know what he's doing, but like,
fine, if he's going to pay me $180,000, sure.
What? Or whatever it is.
Whatever.
Just some X amount of money.
I'm talking about the Stormy Daniels.
Oh, I was so confused there.
It's $130,000.
I'm like, wow,
should always assume you're talking about Stormy Daniels.
I saw the 3 and it was reflected, so it turned into an 8.
There you go. It's reasonable.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, is part of your thought that like maybe this is a safe way for people to get the shitty behavior out?
No, I'm not thinking that. I'm thinking like, is there a place for this kind of thing to teach guys to be more confident about approaching women? Instead,
no, that's
it's a false confidence. I think it's an incorrect and often because it's kind of like the puas, as they're called, right? The pickup artists make it sound like it's an art, like you have to master it, like it's this fucking weird Zen ritual or something.
It's the
ultimately you have to master to get good at.
Well, ultimately, it's the art of manipulation, though.
Yes,
that's the problem.
You're manipulating.
So take the pickup artist out of this, and do you think that it's morally like acceptable to live your life like focusing primarily on manipulating other people, whether male, female, or whatever the purpose is for? Do you think that's acceptable?
No, probably not.
Okay, like I know that some people. I mean, you do it all the time. Like subconsciously in a way.
I think people do it all the time consciously also, though.
But that's the problem, is if you live your life on like a code of manipulation, then that's sort of what this is the version of a dating sim of.
Yeah.
Is that. It's like take a dating sim and then make it purely about manipulation, and that's what you get.
I guess. I think a lot of social interactions professionally are about manipulation, though, also.
That's not necessarily incorrect. But those social interactions are... Like when I'm doing a business deal, or I'm trying to convince somebody that I work with to do a different version of the thing they just did. You know what I mean? Or like work harder or whatever the fuck it is. I'm not tricking them into sleeping with me.
I don't know. I think there's if we break it down just to the manipulation part or something, it's a little bit more understandable. And is the perfection game a form of manipulation in a way? Mm-hmm. We're manipulating people into thinking better about the work by just giving them critiques in a way or something, I guess, or something.
But that's
you're looking at this in a very
transparent,
like a devil's advocate, but like in an objective way.
100% as that in a way, though.
This isn't going on a date. This is like meeting a random stranger.
Like you're going to like you're in a bar with your buddies, and you're using your wingman or
well,
whatever.
That's different. Than
that's what it is. It's not dating.
Well, like a more like what you're talking about, a more productive version of that is like, I mean, I was talking about BioWare, or even there are dating sims out there where, I mean, the only way to get someone to fall for you, whatever, is to like, read what types of conversations they want to have. It's not just purely like, oh, hit the choice that has a heart bite or something. It's like you have to figure out their personalities and stuff. And I think that's a healthier, treat them like people. So I think that's like those things exist, and that's not what this is, I think.
Okay, I get that. I'm just asking.
Thank you. We need the other side.
Breakdown
this
makes a certain amount of sense, and but I'm also like, again, it's you can do these things on a professional level, or you can do these in everyday interactions. But again, like, still not manipulating anyone to sleep with me. You know what I mean? So that's where the difference is.
And like the thing, if we're addressing like the issue of like, oh, hey, it's hard to meet people or dating is awful, right? If that maybe is what they're trying to address, I think what's more important to address is like isolation and loneliness, right? Like, well, anyway, I'll just say like the way I met my fiance is like, oh, I finally started going out again and doing things that I love and enjoy. And that's like, that is how you meet people, right. Like in general, whether that's like for dating, professional stuff, whatever. And sitting at home with, I am 99.9% sure without playing this that the women in there are not great portrayals of women, of real women.
Well, they are real women.
Actors.
That's what I meant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess I was segueing to the fact that it's not a rendered game. It's
not?
No.
Okay.
It's like FMV. Or whatever.
It's choose your own adventure.
It's
real actors. And starring the guy who made the fucking game and the guy who did Pua.
Yeah,
God.
this guy was Richard Ruina.
You play the developer?
You play the guy who has
Well, he's
the Pua
like the pickup artist
actually-
personality,
yeah.
right? And he's made an entire industry around himself and has websites devoted to selling merchandise and self-help, quote unquote, self-help books to men to help.
It got worse, didn't it?
It's not good. You know what I mean? It's definitely not good.
Okay. I'm just gonna drink.
Yep. It hurts to see stuff like this kind of pop up again a little bit because, like, you feel like you're making progress, like this, like Me Too, and all this stuff is happening, and like we're starting to kind of realize that it takes a little bit more than like grabbing a girl's hand and putting it on your dick to woo them. You know what I mean? Like
we're just realizing that.
Well, they're slow on the uptake apparently. So for this to kind of come around again, and be like, guys, like, why are we even doing this? You know what I mean? Like, why? Like, if he had made a cartoon version of it, I could be like, oh, he's doing like a Leisure Suit Larry montage. I get it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know, like, I don't want to even deal with the pushback. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is dumb enough to be. He complains that he's being marginalized, and it makes me so like really, dude. It's like to me like when Richard Spencer gets punched in the face because he's a white supremacist. Like he's like, well, like you're infringing on my right to speak my mind. You know what I mean? Like, no, dude, you're an asshole. Like that. You have the right to be an asshole, but that doesn't change the fact that you're a fucking asshole. Like,
I love when people who have never been oppressed like try to or go like racism to me, and it's like no, or like sexism. It's like no,
you're not experiencing any of those things. He was like, we're getting. I don't remember. It was because of political correctness is like the thing that's causing all of his heartache. Like if you're getting. I don't even know how to explain it, but just like if you're feeling like political correctness is your worst enemy and you're comparing it to being marginalized,
like try fearing getting shot every time you get pulled over. Okay, like please. All right.
Please don't play this game. Please don't play this game.
Yeah.
Can we do a reverse plug for this? Like, fuck this fucking thing. Like,
review bomb it on Steam.
I think my last note for this topic was dumb game concept is dumb. Like,
okay.
Oh, let's dig into more of this shit. Number 2.
It's this is a rough episode. Okay. So Twitch streamer Kaceytron, who's very popular, has made serious bank by playing games, constructing a compelling satire tinge kind of reality show, and showing off her lady goods. I personally think that's all fine if you enter into it voluntarily, own it, make money, and get out when you don't want to do it anymore. However, people who are trash fires label women streamers who wear revealing tops as Twitch sluts and cam whores. I hate saying those words out loud. So Cecilia D'Anastasia of Kotaku reported that these same trash fires were also upset when Kaceytron decided to cover up in an over-the-top grandma sweater for a day. But that was just another trolling of the trolls and her fake girl gamer persona, as Kaceytron claims to do. She started streaming all the way back in 2013 and has been accepting $1 and $2 donations from viewers who spew toxicity on her channel. She'll even read their horrible comments out loud, giving them a platform, kind of. So, speaking to that, is Kaceytron's approach trolling the trolls, playing into the fake gamer girl stereotype, and making up fake sponsors like the Green Groves Dairy Farm, fighting
Fucking awesome.
fighting the problem or feeding it.
She's Dave Chappelleing it a little
She's
bit.
Dave Chappelleing.
Yeah,
A little bit.
and that's okay. I agree with you. You know, if she's consensual about the way that she portrays herself in whatever fashion, satire or otherwise, it's up to her, right? Like, that's her call, and that's cool. What I liked about it is that it's not just necessarily about making money, because there's a lot of situations where she turned around and made a bunch of money all of a sudden for X story or X situation, and then donated that shit.
Yeah.
So whether or not she's playing a PR game or not is TBD, but she's playing it very fucking well. And, you know, fucking kudos. And honestly, if you can get to the point to deal with that much fucking bullshit and turn it into a fucking business, good on you. Honestly, you can't complain. So yeah, if you want to pay $1 and go yell at this person for having boobs, then that's your dollar, I guess. You know what I mean?
Much more than that, though.
No, it is. It is.
It is. It's definitely
See, I
tough.
actually have an issue with this because I feel like this is a situation where someone who's not genuinely feeling that way about it is using satire to, unfortunately, perpetuate a problem. And so I don't condone it. I don't think it's okay that she's doing it for the reasons that she's doing it. Where really, if she wanted to get on a Twitch stream and wear whatever she wanted and act however, like, I would have no issue with that. But personally, I feel like when you're trying to do that to perpetuate the stereotypes that you're finding, like, she's the one who self-proclaims all of those titles that you had to read off. Yeah. So it's that sort of, is it really shining a light on it? Who is she winning over by perpetuating it? She's giving them the
taking
platform.
all these trolls' monies. So I guess.
Yeah, so okay, no, I get that. Like, as a scam artist, this is fucking cool. All right,
is it a scam though? It feels
well, that's
like
a scam, but you just described, right? Because you're taking advantage. Is she educating the trolls here? The people who like her stream for the reason why she's perpetuating.
Hey, you shouldn't do that.
Based on the article, I'm not sure, but it seems like she might be kind of sure. Like, she's like those trolls that I'm trolling have become fans, but they still fucking yeah. No, it's a little confusing for sure.
I think she's not 100% on what she's doing, or at least not consistent.
Okay. It's a weird,
so,
like I think she's navigating it for sure.
But she said, like, she found it empowering to troll them, and that says to me she's defending herself. Like, it's a defensive to do that. Okay. She was like, well, I want to stream and do this, and if the only way to do that is, and to, like, keep my mental health and whatever, is to fight back, then okay, I will. But then stuff like the Green Groves Dairy Farm is like a fake
great.
sponsor.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And making fun of, like, weird sponsors that Twitch streams have. Like,
G2A
I think that's smart.
and all that shit.
Yeah, but then she does, like you were saying, she does things like during a stream she'll, like, pretend to be bad at a game, or like squeal like a little girl, stuff that I think is really harmful, and I'm not. I wasn't happy when I read that.
It's a weird back and forth with the character and the persona that she's running. And so I don't have any issue with her, doing what she wants with her stream. It's just that Dave Chappelle problem.
Yeah.
You're trying to shine a light on something, and you actually end up making it so funny to do something that's like a sketch that negatively represents the culture that you're trying to, part from the marginalization of.
Yeah.
And in turn, you create a meme where everyone then thinks it's cool to go do those things, right?
Yeah.
And so it made it worse, which is why Dave Chappelle disappeared, because he was like, oh, fuck, I didn't help anything.
Yeah, he had, just for people listening who aren't familiar, he had sketches like about like crack cocaine and like eating fried chicken and stuff. That was like, yikes. Commentary, but went too far.
It was fine. It's just that, like, once the commentary becomes so, like, funny and makes it feel like it's acceptable, it goes full circle, and then people in, middle school are walking up to their black friends and making comments about fried chicken again.
I mean, that was high school for me. I mean, I can't recall of anybody going up to somebody and like derogatory, like saying something to that. Like, I don't remember that happening. I do remember a bunch of white guys standing around the table, like yelling out Dave Chappelle jokes or something about, oh, some black man broke into this house and hung up pictures of his family everywhere. Like.
Still funny.
And there's no doubt that it's hilarious. But is it helping?
No, probably not.
And this to me feels like this very similar thing. I see a lot when I hear about a lot of the things she's done or saw the little clips of certain moments. I'm like, there's a lot of funny shit in here. Like, she's a genuinely funny person, but is she helping?
But so here's the problem. I guess is it she's gotten to a position that she's got enough reach, right, where we're almost obligated to foist responsibility on her to handle things, I don't know, quote unquote, more responsibly, right? Does she have that responsibility? Is it on her to handle it more professionally, quote unquote?
It's entirely up to her, right?
Well, it is, but as soon as, because we're talking about it like this, it's almost like we're trying to reason whether or not, like, it's up to her to be
Lady Gaga, which is get people's attention with really shitty pop music, and then reveal that you're actually a fucking amazing musician,
concert pianist,
and teach all your shitty music, music fans how to appreciate good music.
First of all, just dance.
Yeah, that was the first single, wasn't it?
I'm Poker Face. I don't know.
Poker Face came
it was just dance.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm not that big.
Well, are we waiting for a Kaceytron twist?
I don't know. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Is she's gonna?
I honestly, based on what I read, like, I'm not sure I put it past her.
Or
she's just taking advantage of the situation and making some money off of it or something.
That sounds more likely, but good for her. Like, what the fuck? Like, life's too fucking short, man.
Well, like, we're talking about if she has responsibility. We called out PewDiePie, right, for saying like genuinely horrible things.
Yeah, I don't think he was trolling anybody.
No, that was just classic.
Fucking idiocy.
PewDiePie classic.
Yeah.
But maybe what's even sadder about this is like the way she got really popular is by using her sexuality, and that's like unfortunate. But also like the cam horror, was that it? Like that stems from men who are upset that women can do that. Right?
Yeah, the cam horror term kind of came about just because a woman wanted to stream. Like that was according
They're
to what
not
I was
even good.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're not a real gamer. What a Twitch slut or whatever. I can't remember what. But it wasn't about like the way they carried themselves or any self-proclamation or anything like that. It was just because like people were offended. Guys in the game industry were offended by girls trying to like move in on their territory or whatever the fuck.
She could have come out of the gate giving fucking TED Talks, and people would have been fucking upset about it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
So I have a sneaking suspicion that some of those assholes are the same people that would play Super Seducer. However, for her to try and turn it around and either make a profit or be able to offer something back through donations to charity feels like she's gaming the system better than they are.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I agree.
And I'm not sure I disagree with that. I mean, it's tough. Like you said, gray area, right? It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hard one. You know
but
what I mean?
can live with it in this scenario because
I feel like she's
of
trying. She's trying.
There's some shining light there.
we're gonna have to. You know what I mean? So there you go.
Next week it'll be she plays
Tyler 1 in League of Legends or some shit, and that. Oh God.
No,
Wow.
it's going to be her playing like seducer on her stream.
Oh no!
We'll just get it all in one topic.
With Kim Kardashian as guest star.
Yeah,
Kardashian.
Excuse me.
Kim Possible.
Oh.
Give me shit.
Give me back my dragons.
Kim Jong Un.
Keep going. You good?
Kim Jong Un.
Kimberly the
Kim
Pink
Jong
Power
Sing.
Ranger.
Ill.
Kim. Ooh.
Ill.
Wait, what?
Deep cut. Deep cut.
Yeah, deep
right.
B-side.
Oh, wait, you and Power Rangers.
yeah. Are
Pink Ranger.
Is that sexist because she was the Pink Ranger and a girl?
Well, all I know for sure is the fact that Trini, the Asian one, was yellow, is racist.
Ooh, that is
and
racist.
The black one was the African American.
Wait, the black guy was the Black Ranger?
Yes.
Really? I'd never watched Power Rangers, so I can't.
But
That's
Power
fine.
Rangers is specifically Japanese, and they put the Asian guy. Well, I guess we'd put the Asian guy in the yellow because they gave us.
Segue, dude. This is
Who's we?
Oh no! So
me.
the way Power Rangers worked was it was created in Japan, and they had their whole all the action scenes are the same from Japan as they are in the USA.
Okay.
And we just picked different actors
'Cause
for
they
the
had their
people
helmets
outside
on.
of the So when so we chose an Asian for the yellow. They didn't necessarily. All of their team was probably Asian.
America.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Did someone say Kim Kardashian?
Number 3.
Yeah. It pains me to bring up Kim Kardashian ever, but specifically on this podcast.
Why? They're like American royalty.
Again. Because it's not the first time we've talked about her on this show. But there's been some hubbub around her recent tweets regarding her enjoyment of anime. Here's the twist. While the article starts much like something that is building to rebuke her for her declaration, it actually points the finger at folks rebuking her for liking it. So, as usual, I'm the asshole. Claims that she is a fake geek girl or just into something that's popular now to gain, I don't know, Instagram followers. Make us as geeks the jerks in reality. And I'm a little worried that they might be onto something.
There is a theme in this episode.
There sure
is there?
is.
Did you plan it this way?
Wait, you may think
It
maybe
just shook out this way.
who's
No,
on?
I didn't. I mean, look at our lightning round topics too. Yes.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Okay.
Who gives a shit what people watch?
Well,
Well-
when you declare it and you have millions and billions of followers, then those people give a shit.
Yeah. Like one of the Jenner.
But why?
ladies.
Why do I care?
Yeah.
That she likes anime. I'm a big anime nerd. I guess.
You are an anime nerd. Do you care that Kim Kardashian likes anime?
Not really.
Case closed, everybody. Lightning round coming up next.
Can you guys, I guess, understand that feeling a little bit or something? Why, like, I guess something that was so popular to you suddenly becomes popular with somebody who has further outreach than you, and then
With
you
like muggles.
It's hipster syndrome. It's hipster syndrome.
It's hipster syndrome. Yeah,
Yeah.
either way. So like, I can understand it because you do feel that feeling when some, I guess I have at least, liking anime and it becoming more mainstream. Now everybody likes anime. I'm not as special because I liked anime before they did or something. Like I can relate to that feeling, but it doesn't bother me. I guess like I understand.
It's good that it doesn't
cool
bother
that
you.
more people like it. The more people that like it, the better it's going to get.
That's how I feel. Like I'm 30 now. I learned that I'm not special a long time ago, so I don't give a shit when something makes me, less special by comparison to others. So I don't know. I don't think anything hurts from more people knowing about something I like.
I'm trying to understand why people are so upset about this. Like why do guys get upset that girls like video or play video games? Also, why do anime fans get upset that popular celebrities like anime? Like it's just
It's an ownership problem. It's part of our animal instincts as humans to want to mark territory and not watch people encroach upon it. That's
Make sure to pee on all your manga.
entitlement in
All
a
right.
way, like,
it's
also?
entitlement.
Yeah.
That's definitely what that is.
We've definitely reached a point in our culture where like the fans feel like they own the stuff they're watching in a way. Like
Well, there are like Gen X friends of mine. So that's the one before we millennials who have talked to me about how like back in their day they had to enjoy comic book like geeky things in private because it wasn't they'd get beat up for it, right?
True story.
And so I think there's like a sense of like, well, I had to suffer to like this, and like you're
getting into it now.
14 and getting to enjoy Lord of the Rings, or like I was when the movies came out. Like fuck you for being able to enjoy this in the open. Like I had to suffer for it.
It's just sad because it's like it's the utopia that they always dreamed
Yeah,
of. Like they should be really
celebrate it.
Why
happy
can't
about.
everybody like video games?
Well, so
Why
that's
can't everybody like anime?
two things. Like, do you think that people? We were talking about this before. The thing you've been playing Stellaris, right? And the whole issue of like slavery as like an exploitable thing. Do you think slaves, like when they get freed, are mad at other people because they're not slaves? Like you don't like I don't think
the owners
so.
are mad that they.
Yeah, probably
are now
the owners are mad.
citizens.
The owners are definitely
That's
mad.
why we still have racism in the
Right.
South.
But at the same time, like this is one of the cool things that we have the opportunity to do with nerddom or geek culture or sci-fi. The fact that it's all mainstream now is that like the fact that it's fucking mainstream, that it's like the show is themed that's Black Panther in the idea of inclusion. Like, do you know what I mean? Like this, the whole representation, like this whole idea that like, and people are fucking.
But it
mad
sounds like
about
Black
that.
Panther was about.
I get
the
hating Kim
exclusion of
Kardashian.
white
I get
colonialism.
that. That's true.
Oh,
Get out.
I get that it's easy to hate on people like Kim Kardashian. I am one of them, frankly. But she doesn't need me as an Instagram follower, so that's fine. Do I hate the fact that she likes anime? I don't give a shit what she watches. I don't care. We have an opportunity as a culture or a demographic to be inclusive and be representative. So to kind of shut the door on that shit is a mistake. Ultimately, whether or not you agree with it, it just is. Like that's like there's like a mathematical certainty to that. So if Kim Kardashian wants to watch Akira or
she's watching,
Cowboy Bebop or Bleach or whatever the fuck it is, good for her.
Specifically, it's Darling in the Franxx right now.
I don't even know what that is.
That's the cockpit sex anime that I talked about.
Oh, that one?
Yep.
oh
Right on.
yeah, that
Okay.
is a weird one.
That's a fucking great show.
I looked this up so I could get the number right, but just the power of the Kardashians. If people haven't been paying attention,
That
just
Snapchat
in the
shit is
last
ridiculous.
Couple weeks was Kylie Jenner making one single fucking tweet about
Snapchat?
how Snapchat is dead. Well, I don't know about you, but I haven't opened it in a long time. Or like, does anyone else feel like it's dead? And it lost $1 billion, $1 billion in the stock market that day.
Yep. Well,
$1 billion. Sorry.
So this should be good for anime then, right? Kim, I mean, people like.
okay.
Ultimately, yeah. I'm
American
sure like
royalty
Saban and all
likes
that shit.
anime.
People are like, this is fucking amazing.
They're okay. The one thing they're good at is they're marketing geniuses, right? And like they're also super. Apparently, they say they're super polite and like great to work with. So they keep getting gigs, right? I'm wondering, are we going to see like a Kardashian anime come out? Is that what this is? Full Metal Kardashian.
That's all right. I think in my notes I was like, are we going to see an anime collectible added to the Kim Kardashian mobile game? Well, that's what I'm curious about.
Oh yeah,
That'd be
there's that.
simpler for sure.
What are other popular like anime titles that could be Kimified?
I don't know. I can see some Android.
Akima. I mean, low hanging fruit, guys. What's up?
All right. I'm writing it down.
Don't write that one down.
Vampire Hunter K.
That's not bad.
Is it good? Can we do something with Inuyasha? We're the ones that like people watched on Toonami.
Well, shit. The one they specifically talked about.
I was going to say Kanye Bebop, but
Winner!
Chicken dinner.
God damn it. So good.
Oh, where Kanye does the voice of all the characters.
one of them's auto-tuned.
All of them are.
They're all
Ed.
auto-tuned. Everything that guy comes out of his mouth is auto-tuned.
Yeah.
Even the corgi.
That's great.
Yeah.
I feel like I should walk away now when I'm on top. I gotta to the Cosby Show.
I don't know. It seems like no one really has an issue with this.
Well, none of us do.
here.
I guess
none
none
of
of
us.
No, we.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I guess I'm living in that weird like foot in each camp, right? Because I understand the benefit of it, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, fuck, I hate those people. Like, because what do they do really for the world? Not, I mean, really, what do they? This is like, I feel like she's Paris Hilton on steroids or something. You know what I mean? It's this whole being famous for nothing. You know what I mean? And I have a hard time wrapping my head around that. But I also don't give a shit because it's like none of this applies to me. So I don't.
Let me give you an example of why it's not just being famous for nothing. Now, no matter what the starting point is,
Okay.
that's the part that's usually arguable and the thing that people latch onto. But years later, how many stars have you known that have disappeared off the face of the earth? Most.
Yeah, like what is
They
the
all do
duration of
eventually,
stardom? Like 10 years?
Yeah.
Of like
15
pinnacle.
minutes, according to Andy Warhol.
No matter what lucky breaks they got to get their initial start, and we've all had ours at some point in our lives, some weird lucky break that gave us a job or an opportunity or something that we
for
maybe
sure.
didn't think we deserved at the time, whatever. the amount of insane work that some of the Kardashians fucking do to stay relevant
Yeah.
it's insane.
Kind of staggering.
Look it up. Look up the kind of shit that they do, the number of businesses they own, the day-to-day work that they... It's not easy to run a successful Instagram, Erskine. It's not.
I'm aware. My Instagram is not successful.
Get your hashtags right. You gotta...
Yeah, fuck that shit. Okay, that's fair. No, I'm not gonna take it away from anybody. If she had come out and been like,
I don't know.
No, if she'd come out and been like, I'm super excited for Roger Deakins for finally winning an Oscar for Blade Runner 2049, I would have been like, you didn't watch that movie. You know what I mean? Like, but that's something that like directly applies to me because I'm a big Blade Runner guy and I like Roger Deakins and he finally got his fucking Oscar this year. Congratulations to Roger Deakins. But I Kim Kardashian's opinion about anything doesn't really affect my like world at all. You know what I mean? And I don't really care. I guess maybe I'm just kind of tuned to the fact that it's like, who are you and what do you do and why does everybody give a fuck? Like,
I guess when I flipped this article in because I love anime. It's one of my favorite mediums to tell stories than ever. And I flipped it in because I was more concerned about the backlash that people were giving like Kim. Like, no, I don't care that she likes anime. I don't care that she's promoting it. I don't care about her Instagram followers and how it's going to affect anime. I care about the anime community and why they feel so upset about it. Like I was like that. Why is anybody upset about people liking the things that you like? I guess, and I wish geek culture in general, because this isn't specific to anime. This is very specific to geek culture, like video games and nerd,
the entitlement idea.
Yeah,
100%.
We feel very entitled about our stuff because we liked it first.
Fucking
I guess,
Star
or
Wars
something.
fans. Jesus.
I have concern about that, I guess.
Well, I disagree that it's central to game or geek culture. That's just not true. It's just, again, I think this comes back to human nature problems. Like when I wanted to skateboard in junior high, like I was called a poser for like 2 fucking years until I became better than the people who were calling me posers. So it's like, why there's no matter what it is, when you try and break into any culture you're not currently a part of, there's always this weird fucking barrier of entry, this freeze, this thing that makes you need to prove yourself before we believe you really are who you say you are. And that's true with everything. It's just a human nature.
I definitely agree with that. I just, being part of geek culture, I hoped we were better.
We're not. No,
but I think we still can be. So there's that. You know what I mean? I want Kim Kardashian to come out and be like, I love Insane Clown Posse. So that like the juggalos flip out. You know what I mean? I think that would be hilarious.
What is it? What's their drink? Fago or no?
What?
That's not
What'd you
They
call
have
it?
like a soda or something that they're
No, they have
all
like
about?
a mixed drink.
It's like a
mixed
scissor
drink?
or
Oh,
something.
it's like
Yeah.
It's like a version of Faderade.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
To round this out, I guess, just to kind of before we move on, I did want to read like the kind of closing quote from the article because I actually feel like it summed it up vaguely, but in a I think in terms that we all understand. The closing quote says, LaShawn Thomas, who was the producer on shows like The Legend of Korra and The Boondocks on Comedy Central, when it becomes bigger than their secret, they feel like they have to be defensive because they feel like they're losing it. Meanwhile, nobody in Japan gives a fuck about any of this stuff. They're like, whatever, Frozen is anime. And I was like, well, I can't argue with that anymore, so I'm good. You know what I mean?
Japan gives no fucks.
Zero
Also
fucks.
true.
Yeah.
Well, something I can't remember the exact figure, but I feel like I read that for every one shot, like picture that gets posted to like a Kim Kardashian's account, there are like 80 takes, like to get it just right. So speaking to the amount of work it takes, 50 or 80, I can't remember, but either way, that's a lot. And also, one quick thing, this is another, like Kaceytron, another instance where women are
Call back.
using
Yep.
women are using what they've got, whatever that is, and I feel like people are angry that they figured out the system, I guess.
And to call back even farther, men are being taught to use what they got, their manipulation skills, apparently.
Well, let's not be sexist. I think women can be just as manipulative.
Everyone can.
All people can be manipulative trash fires.
Also, Fago, a cheap soda sold in parts of the U.S., often sprayed on fans at Insane Clown Posse concerts, dubbed the Wicked Elixir, the official soft drink of juggalos and homestucks. As in, motherfucker slam a fago.
What was that? Homestucks? What is that word?
I don't know. Do you want me to continue this?
I don't
I'm
know.
good. We're good.
I think we need to move on.
Yep.
Thank you.
Fago. This episode of Cheat Codes brought to you by Fago.
Motherfucker slam a fago.
Oh, we could probably get them to sponsor us. No for nothing.
Brought to you by Slurm.
They might make us wear like
Slurms McKenzie.
Oh my god.
Okay. So we're going to take, with that, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back for the lightning round.
For you, the listeners of the Cheat Codes podcast, Loot Crate is offering an opportunity to save 10% on any new subscription. Loot Crate is a monthly mystery crate service that delivers the best in geek and gaming gear, from collectibles, apparel, tech gadgets, art, and other epic goodies. Head over to trylootcrate.com/cheatcodes. That's trylootcrate.com/cheatcodes and enter the promo code BRIDGE10 for your 10% savings.
All right, panel, it's time for the lightning round. Here's how it works. We're going to take 2 quick topics and then give each member of the panel a minute to chime in pretty much uninterrupted.
At the end of each minute, Mr. Joe Arroyo will award each panelist a quantity of some type of points based on 0 things in particular. And Alexandra and I will let him know what he deserves.
I'll be awarding fago.
Brought to you by Fago.
Spoilers. All right. Topic the
A.
The A. The ESA has released a statement regarding archiving and preserving games doesn't really include old online games. I am paraphrasing, but if game museums want to showcase games like these, which as a whole this industry sucks at preserving dated work anyway, they have to spin up servers, and that's copyright infringement, apparently. Their opposing arguments are available online if you want to sift through about 40 pages or so of legal jargon. But the idea that they are conveying here is it's just not worth it. Do you guys have games of stuff worth saving? How does a vetting process even begin to take shape to preserve and showcase games like this? You've got a minute to tell us why the ESA is either right or wrong.
Ready to go.
Okay. All right.
You want it?
Sure.
Take it.
All right. Well, so I'm in the IGDA, like Serious Games Special Interest Groups. That's International Game Developers Association, and we've been talking for a while about preserving old, like, serious games, browser-based ones. And I mean, there's tons of interest out there. Like whenever we have a GDC roundtable, people are like, "Oh my god, yes!" I'm like, so we're working towards an archive, but like people want it, so I just wonder, like, who exactly they're talking to. But also, we already do this with movies. Like, was it Library of Congress? Like in the U.S., we preserve movies that are culturally significant. So, like, how hard is it to preserve a game? Like, I'm sure there's a lot going on. There's legal, like, red tape and, but I mean, movies are copyrighted too. I don't know. It's like, it feels like there's kind of already a process in place. So why not just use that with games?
I would like to award you one of those advertisements at the beginning of, like, the DVD days where it's like, you wouldn't steal a purse. You wouldn't steal someone's TV. So don't copyright DVD.
And there was like,
I swear to God, I thought you were going to drop a Fago in there. I was waiting. I was counting down on my, literally right next to it. I was like, all
you
right.
wouldn't steal a Fago.
Yeah. You might.
Thank you. I'll try to remember that.
They were very informative.
Okay.
You want it?
Nick?
I'll go, I guess.
Do it.
Not to contradict Alexandra's topic or anything. Like, I understand. I think it's kind of the same reason that people understand how movies are made. You get behind a lens and somebody films you. With video games, it's much more cryptic and people don't understand how it's made. The logistics of maintaining old games like this would be a fucking nightmare. Like, maintaining the operating systems that these games are even capable of running on. The consoles.
That's the only thing browser based. Sorry.
With browser, there's a point to, like, where, like, some games are to the point where they can play on multiple platforms and everything, but like the whole idea of being able to preserve how, like, Phantasy Star Online worked on the Nintendo Dreamcast or something.
Sega Dreamcast.
Nintendo.
It's all the same. It's all the same.
Might as well
They're
be
all
with
dead.
Nintendo the way they innovated. But
save.
yeah, it would be a fucking nightmare to do this. I think it's absolutely worth it, but we need to figure out how we can make it worth it, because it's just getting that hardware to work with all the different software out there is already a nightmare. It's hard enough to get like games to run on your current Windows 10 PC. Like, how am I going to get games that are only available on Windows like
UWP Play
3.0
Anywhere
or something? It's like, how am I going to play that Tanks game or something? Sure.
That's a really good point.
I would like to award you a copy of Windows 9.
Doesn't exist.
Yeah, very good.
Like emulator or something?
All right.
I don't know. Okay. Who wants
Okay, I feel like we've actually done a good job here of like building on an argument to a certain degree, but what I'll say is this. I don't necessarily need to have it maintained and kept alive, but source code being archived would be a good start.
Oh, yeah. But this shouldn't be a conversation.
And I'm done.
Oh. That's a good idea.
Fuck.
I wish you could have elaborated a little bit.
Yeah. I'd like to award you one int main void.
Returns.
Open curly braces.
I was going to say close curly braces or like int equals
If you're
0.
really good, you definitely don't void. You pass
If you're
arguments,
C++,
but that's
plus,
fine.
you need the void.
That's
if
how
you're
functions
C.
work. You should pass an argument.
Have the joust source code.
I
I'll
passed
take
it up. So go ahead.
I think the movie video game thing needs to come together as a hybrid for the active preservation. I think that's actually the answer here. You can't keep up this kind of hardware. You can't keep up that kind of software to sort of go back and preserve it in a way where you can get on and play it. Not to mention games that are like MMOs. Like, how do you even preserve the concept of that if you can't go around in the world without other players to interact? That's not a true preservation of that title. So to me, just take advantage of the concept of preserving what made it what it is. So it should be somebody's job to earlier than later get involved in these games and get actionable footage while playing the game that represents that game best, and then have that in the archives to like draw upon. Like, just being able to like pick it up and pop in a video and see like the moments in the game that made it good or whatever, that's better than picking it up and trying to play it again anyway. At least I think so, especially with a lot of the titles. So that's my solution, I guess, to the situation.
I wish we could
I'm
have
going
conversation
to give him
about
a
it.
preliminary award. Would you mind terribly if I did that? And
Go,
then-
do it.
Okay.
Do it.
I'm going to give you the award of the old guy pushing the cart at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark down through the fucking giant hangar full of just wooden crates of priceless objects that nobody's ever going to see. And movie reference.
That's a great scene.
I would like to also give you something.
sure.
I'd give you one copy of the EVE Online archived server data. And
See, that's fucking
so
cool.
what happened with EVE Online is they actually buried a time capsule or something of an actual playable version of the server and of the client or something. So
They
people
saw
can
the
get
shit
it in the
coming, man.
future.
Yeah, they
See,
saw it coming.
Is there going to be any value in that? I don't know necessarily, but it's a cool idea, and it's in the spirit of what this is, I hope.
At a future fan fest, there's going to be like, they're going to dig that shit up in like 30 years.
Yeah.
And people are going to be like,
game
that's
sucks.
cool.
They're like, I can't
Let's
play
go
this
back
on
to
anything.
drinking ice wine.
I
All
can't play
right.
this on my Nintendo Switch.
The Switch 4
On your
at that point.
Sega Switch.
Sega. They made a comeback.
Sega Switch. I'm going to give you an invitation to the inevitable tournaments that we start to hold where people, like, the goal is to recreate the old games. Like, we've gotten to the point
Game
where,
jams.
like, we can just, like, at DigiPen, right, you would make
Right.
chess
Yeah.
or whatever for assignments. So, like, making some of those old games, in theory, should get super easy.
Are we holding these tournaments on our live tour?
Obviously. Cheat Codes 2022. Yes.
Great.
I think it's funny. None of us talked about the actual copyright issues that much.
Well, as we probably should have, but as like machine learning gets better and stuff like that, like I feel like that is like the evolution of a game jam right there. Is like getting old archive games just to work, even if just for like an hour. You know what I mean? Like just to get to
I'd rather remake the fucking thing.
Even just to get it to boot up. But you know what I'm talking about. There's like a niche group of people out there that would be fucking into this.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So I'm just saying.
I think we're going to get to the point where machine learning is going to be able to figure out how to run this hardware without us. Like we're going to get to the point where like we're on the holodeck and we say, "Hey, make me a guy that acts flirtatious when I do this," and it just performs. It just puts that guy in front of you.
Here's avatar of Richard LaRuina. Like,
Make me a pua I can
We're going to
punch.
get to that.
Computer run Super Seducer program.
and the computer's like, no.
Even I have standards, sir.
It would be nice to archive all this stuff so that the machine learning algorithms can go over it later and teach us
Just to have the
Sure.
opportunity to do dumb shit like we're talking about. Like just having that opportunity is part of the solution. You know what I mean? Is planning ahead.
Topic to be.
It's going to be all right.
All right. So we're getting another Tomb Raider movie, I guess. And Michael Domenico of IGN reports that Mattel has unveiled a mostly covered up Lara Croft Barbie to go with it. So with the doll, you get a map, an axe, a journal, a doll stand, and a nifty certificate of authenticity. So I'll be real. I bought the Wonder Woman Antiope Barbie because I thought she was so badass. And that was only after I saw and cried during the movie, and I fell in love with it, warts and all, issues and all. So to me, pre-selling the Alicia Vikander-inspired doll before the movie is released is kind of like overconfidence to me. Like even for a big franchise like Tomb Raider, I don't know that So I'll get to it. So do you think it'll actually sell well, as Tomb Raider has historically been marketed heavily via blatant over-sexualization and violence to teenage boys, while Barbie's wheelhouse is girls aged 3 to 12? And why do you think we're even getting a Tomb Raider reboot? You can go that route with your minute. Or why is someone as accomplished as Alicia Vikander even doing this movie? So lots of directions you can go in. Anyone have any thoughts?
Yeah, can I start?
Go.
All right. If what the Tomb Raider franchise has done really well is the reboot, and they've kind of humanized her a little bit and changed some proportions, I would say.
Yes.
Rounded some rough.
Some pointy.
Sure.
Pyramid edges.
This is my minute, goddammit.
Okay, go. Sorry.
What they've done is actually kind of an interesting reboot, and honestly, as a precursor to kind of the theme that we're talking about in this thing. It's like a strong female character who is completely capable of handling insanely difficult Indiana Jones or whatever like situations, but also like they showcase story moments where she feels those moments, right? And so that is prime for a movie, so that's fine. I don't care if Alicia Vikander's in it or not. It seems a better choice than Angelina Jolie. Do I think a Barbie doll is going to sell because of this? No, because if your daughter is in the mood to play with Barbies, then she's probably not playing the rebooted Tomb Raider. And I maybe I'm being too general in that respect, but I just don't see the crossover in that regard. I get where it's coming from. Don't see that demographic though.
Okay.
Yeah. I would like to award you one. G.I. Joe.
Which one, the 12-inch one or like the articulated ones that were like 4 inches tall?
Which one do you want, man? Fuck.
A one with proper
This is a
proportions.
one-parter.
One with proper proportions.
All right.
And it's not a super seducer.
So not a Barbie
Well, we can't let go of
with
that.
the proper
Are you saying the Barbie's a super?
No, I think he was...
proportions.
Exactly. So, yeah, not a Barbie.
I'll go, I
You
guess.
Ready to go?
G.I. Go already.
All right, well, okay. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the comment about saying that, like, if a girl is playing with Barbies, she's not playing video games. I'm not really sure. I mean...
That's not what I said.
It's kind of what you said.
I said she's not playing the new Tomb Raiders.
It's the same thing.
That's not even close.
I think he's suggesting that the ESRB rating on Tomb Raider is too high for a girl
Yeah, that was
who's playing with Barbies
Yeah,
to
the
play.
girl that's playing with Barbies is not watching the girl get impaled on a fucking spike as she falls
like
off
I've
the
done
river.
my 8-year-old.
That's what-
That's the point that I'm making.
okay.
I took that the very wrong way, and thank you for putting me in my place.
You're welcome.
Sorry, please take your whole minute. I'm sorry.
I feel like I fell on some spikes.
Agreed.
It could be the same demographic.
Plus, you bought a Wonder Woman Barbie. You're not.
I
Yeah,
did.
years
I'm
old.
not 3 to 12.
But did you play with it? Did you play with it?
No, it's pristine in the box.
Thank you.
Obs.
Still proves my point.
That doesn't change the way they sell those. Like they sold.
Okay,
they
that's
got a
fair. That's
sale
fair.
off
That's fair.
her.
That's fair.
So yeah, maybe adults will be super into it and buy Barbies also. Maybe.
So I guess to that, I'll be quick. Is just maybe this is their attempt then to just capitalize on the people who grew up with Barbies and are around. Like it's the generation that's in. That's not 3 to 12.
It's the McFarlane Toys Barbie edition or whatever. Yeah. Hyper realistic. Or whatever.
It is. That's
makes
what
sense.
they're selling on
Right
with
on.
these, and I think that will succeed just fine.
Okay.
All right.
I award you one Tomb Raider Barbie.
Miscommunication? Oh,
Does she come with dual pistols?
And Robin Egg blue tank top.
no! You already. We were told what she came with.
I didn't listen.
The pickaxe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like a bow and arrow.
Oh, the ice picks.
Yeah.
And so in
the
the
ice
journal that you're getting, it also says, "Hey Joe, you're a great feminist. Don't worry, because you're great. Don't worry." Yes. Sorry, we kind of attacked you there. Love you. Okay.
I don't think I attacked you. I was just defending myself.
Yeah,
That's all.
we've had a bit to drink, so it's gentlemen.
You guys want to hug it out later?
And this has been a very intense episode. To
There's
be
a lot
clear,
going on.
we've done a good job, I think.
Well, what they don't know is that in between the break and the lightning round, we sprayed ourselves with Faygo.
What do they call it? The wicked
The
serum?
wicked
The wicked
elixir.
Elixir.
buddy. Come on.
Sorry. It's that serum. My fault.
Okay, Nick, you have thoughts on this?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Some of this may be sarcastic, but I'll leave you to decide. Are
Best
people
primer ever.
as really excited about the new Tomb Raider as they were about the old one? Like, I kind of enjoyed the old one a little bit. I felt she was actually a little bit stronger as a woman, not necessarily for like the depiction of her. Like, if you get past the sexualization of her and everything, she was more of like a confident, like self-assured, like almost older British woman who was just a badass at like flipping through the air and shooting guns at bats in caves and stuff. And I was like, that is fucking cool. Like, I had a lot of fun with that. And then we got to the new stuff and she was like having difficulties getting raped. And
The game you're talking about?
yeah, I'm talking about the games in a way. Like I actually, has nothing to do with the topic, of course, because I do whatever the fuck I want. But
Yeah, it's your minute.
I guess I miss the old Tomb Raider a little bit. Not Angelina Jolie. I'm not a big fan of Angelina Jolie, but the pyramid boobs. Like, it wasn't necessarily about the boobs for me. It was about the backflips and the dual pistol wielding and killing Tyrannosaurus Rexes or T-Rexes, I guess, or something in short shorts. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to award you one copy of Backflips and Boobs.
backflips and boobs.
Streamed by Kaceytron.
Oh,
You can order it now by dialing 1-800.
Listen, her name is Titty Streamer, right?
No.
Her name
God.
is not
Oh my
Titty
God.
Streamer.
That's even worse.
I thought that's what it was.
Oh, wait. I will point out really quickly that we did discover her title of her name. What is it? Kaceytron?
Kaceytron.
Kaceytron.
Is the Brazzers logo.
Oh, yeah.
The co-opted version.
Straight up, she just took a porn site's logo and put her name on it.
I always thought
Kind
it
of
was
fucking
pronounced
genius,
razors.
actually.
see, that's one
I
in
don't
the
care.
intentional column. One little tick in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's most certainly that.
Like
100%
you know what
she
you're
knew what she
doing.
was doing. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Did we award him something?
Yeah, I gave him backflips and boobs.
Oh, that's right.
Boobs.
All right.
Yeah.
You want to
Well,
close this out,
I
please?
was-
Jesus.
Here's hoping they
Save us.
like. I really hope. I haven't really read anything about the movie, so I really hope they're addressing it. Like, hey, okay, this is a time to make Lara Croft like portray her in more of a feminist light. So I'm hoping that's what it is. Whatever. But so so there were Wonder Woman Barbie dolls, several, and then this is happening, right? I Googled Black Panther Barbies and nothing, which is like, the fuck? Like, why are we not seeing that? The only thing I found was it's directed me to an announcement of like making a huge deal about a special Hidden Figures Barbie. Like that's what Black Panther Barbie brought me.
Like Hidden Figures the movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't even know what to say about that Google search, but also like if Mattel is trying to be like, hey, we're, having representing empowered women as Barbies, then they should do it universally, not be racist. So that was just the one thing in the course of writing this and reading about it that I was disappointed about. I want an Okoye. I would buy that and put her next to Antiope.
Well, you can get a Walking Dead Michonne doll and just shave her head and give her, much cooler clothes and some badass weaponry.
That might be what I don't know.
Samurai swords aren't to beat though. I don't know. Damn.
They aren't what?
Well, the girl that she's talking about is played by the same actress as Denai Gurria.
Okay.
Did I pronounce that right? Is that?
Question mark. Not sure. But
I would like to award you the new series of Barbies. It's a crime-fighting rocket science group called the Hidden Action Figures.
Hey!
I don't see the magical girl Barbies.
Joe's like, I gotta say something.
I actually agree with Nick to a certain degree. I think we were kind of like you and I were eyeballing each other while Alexandra was doing her minute, where it was like the fact that Black Panther doesn't have a Barbie deal, just because it has more to do with Disney in the long run, and because Wonder Woman had one that's like a DC Warner Brothers thing. You know what I mean? And that's stupid. It's stupid.
But Disney's going to sell all of their merchandise. They're not going to let other people probably.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I didn't even see one at all.
There weren't any
action. Yeah, you make a good point. Maybe they're planning it.
I will say that Lego has both DC and Marvel, though.
So well, I read another article.
Very late. Yes.
It was Sandra Bullock, actually, about her sons and everything. And she was super excited about the Black Panther prospects because that means that there's going to be Legos coming out that are actually brown or black colored Lego heads and everything. Yep. And she was tired of coloring her children's Legos faces black because she's adopted a bunch of
I didn't know that. Okay.
So she was really excited about Black Panther for that reason or something.
It's funny you mention that because I keep, like, my son's name is Finn, and I keep wanting to like push there's that like $1 like 6-inch figure that they did for Lego for Finn from the new trilogy or whatever, but he's black, and like so whenever I look at Finn looks at it and he's like, that's not me. Like, we have the same name, but that's not me. You know what I mean? And like, okay, representation, right? You know what I mean? Like, so he's much more akin to maybe Luke Skywalker or Han Solo, for instance. You know what I mean?
You didn't start inverse coloring all of your
Legos, I have not.
Okay.
But what I did start doing was buying sets that had like, there were a couple actually Lego sets from the new one, like Force Awakens or Last Jedi, that actually had multiracial kind of Legos in them. You know what I mean? And so I was like, I'm going to start, peppering this shit in there and see what happens. You know what I mean? So.
Cool. Something I mentioned to you, like, so Disney is getting better. Like, so when we went to Disneyland, we saw like the Frozen show. So it's basically Frozen in like an hour.
Oh.
And
the right dosage.
The Anna was played by a black woman, and like kid Anna was white, and then adult Anna was black. Just with a wig, like
because the voice was more important, maybe. Than, that's cool.
And a friend of mine also told me like they switch out actors all the time, but previously like they had an Elsa who was also a black woman. So it's like, hey, like I don't think a lot of Disney, but it seems like they're really trying recently.
Well, we don't have a choice. They're coming out whether we want them or not.
Well, I feel like Disney's
adapting.
Disney is coming for us.
The Disney Vault is going to become the Disney Bank, and we're going to have checking accounts.
And then they're going to become.
Speaking of checking accounts, Amazon is fucking announced that. You want to give your soul to Jeff Bezos? Amazon checking account on the way.
And then we're going to have the Disney Nation and the Amazon Nation. Yep. And they're going to be fighting for ownership of the moon.
And then like 3,000 years from now, the comic character that has like finally gets representation is from the Amazon Nation or the fucking Google Nation or the whatever.
Mm-hmm. And then there's DC cowering in the corner during this fight.
Warner Brothers is their name.
Right, is their nation. That's true.
There's two people.
It's brothers. An AOL Warner company. Somebody end this.
All right. So we didn't go to Coachella or Disneyland. Oh, that worked. But we shared a little bit of Wakanda's light with the world. So with that, episode 162 is over.
And thank you, listener, for sticking us in your ears for an hour.
Please hit us up at cheatcodespodcast.com on Facebook and on Twitter and get in on the conversation. If you tweet at us, we'll probably tweet right back at you.
Also, be sure to check out our Patreon page. You can become a patron for as little as $2 a month. Thanks to everybody who's jumped on board so far. And we're hopefully going to see you in a couple weeks.
Yep. So until next time, Wakanda forever. See the movie.
Shout out to Kyle Kruger for checking in on us, making sure we're still alive.
Thanks, Kyle. We'll play.
He was the guy that would have triggered like the police visit to the
We're all
house.
gonna play Sea of Thieves with you in a little bit.
Oh, we totally are.
Snap.
So get excited.
We're gonna get on that shit.
Kyle.